The disciples sat quietly in the shade, their minds weighed down by regrets of past choices and lingering doubts. Buddha looked upon them with kindness, sensing their unrest and yearning for understanding amidst the chaos within their hearts. A young woman named Sujata spoke first, her voice trembling as she recounted the choices that haunted her daily life. "Master," Sujata began, "I abandoned my father to pursue love, yet now I question if my actions were truly just." Buddha listened carefully, his serene expression steady as he placed his hand upon the earth beside him. "Sujata," Buddha said softly, "choices are not solitary threads. They are woven together with consequences, forming the fabric of existence itself. Though it appears the same each day, the river never holds the same water within its course." Ananda, who often questioned deeply, looked at Buddha with a flicker of curiosity in his attentive eyes. "Master," Badrika pleaded, "if I had stayed, perhaps I could have eased his pain and been the brother he needed." Buddha spoke, his voice unwavering yet gentle. "Badrika, a choice rooted in sincerity cannot be judged solely by its immediate outcome." He continued, "Regret lures the mind to wander back, but the present moment is where the true path begins to unfold." Buddha's gaze swept across the disciples, landing on Kitu, whose hesitation to speak revealed a heavy burden within. Kitu finally whispered, "I sought wealth and power to escape my family's poverty. But now, guilt overshadows my every achievement." Buddha replied, "Kitu, the weight of guilt seeks to anchor you. Yet it can only thrive in the absence of forgiveness. Choices are mirrors, reflecting not only your actions but the lessons that shape the soul's journey forward." Buddha continued, as the disciples absorbed his teachings. Buddha began sharing the story of his own doubts and the choices he had made. "Once, as a prince, I stood at a crossroad. Should I remain or leave to search for a deeper truth?" Buddha said. He explained, "The palace shimmered with grandeur, yet my heart was restless, drawn toward the suffering I could not ignore. I chose the path of renunciation, and with each step, doubt whispered, what if I had remained as their beloved ruler?" Buddha's voice grew reflective, yet I understood that choices chosen with pure intention unfold into lessons greater than fleeting comforts or regrets. One of the disciples, named Ananda, asked, "Master, do you ever wonder if the throne could have been used for greater good?" Buddha answered, "Ananda, the throne is like the lotus. It blooms only under specific conditions. But wisdom transcends its limitations entirely." He continued, "Had I stayed, I might have ruled, but I could not have unveiled the truths that bind all beings together." Buddha's story resonated deeply within the disciples, who began to see their doubts as opportunities for understanding rather than failures. A disciple named Maha pressed further, "Master, when faced with doubt, how can one silence the regret that echoes through the mind?" Buddha instructed, "Maha, silence is found through acceptance, embracing your choice as it is and transforming it into wisdom for your journey." He added, "Each choice carries seeds of growth. When nurtured, these seeds blossom into virtues beyond the scope of your present understanding." Buddha's teachings brought tears to the eyes of the disciples, their burdens softening under the light of his compassionate wisdom. Sujata spoke again, asking, "Master, is it possible to redeem oneself from the consequences of choices that caused harm to others?" Buddha replied, "Redemption begins when you extend your heart to those who suffered and invite compassion to guide your future actions. Even a choice resulting in harm can become the fertile soil for forgiveness and transformation when tended with love." Buddha explained. Badrika bowed before Buddha and said, "I see now that the weight of regret must be used to awaken purpose within." Buddha nodded, affirming, "Purpose is the alchemy of regret, turning leaden doubts into the golden strength that drives your search for truth." never fear your past, Buddha added, for it holds the keys to discovering the wisdom necessary for your path ahead. Kitu, emboldened by the teachings, said, Master, I will seek forgiveness from my family and use my wealth to bring light to others. Buddha smiled warmly, saying, Kitu, your resolution reveals the power of choices. When they serve the greater good, they transcend all sorrow. The disciples sat in silence, their hearts uplifted, knowing their past choices held meaning beyond the shadows of regret and fear. Buddha concluded, in the garden of life, every choice is a seed. What matters most is how you nurture its growth. He added, the past cannot be undone, but it can inspire you to sow the seeds of compassion for a brighter tomorrow. The disciples bowed low, their burdens eased, their minds renewed with the understanding gifted by the Buddha's timeless teachings. Another day, another gathering under the Bodhi tree. As the disciples returned to seek clarity on the paths not taken, Buddha sat silently, observing their restless minds, sensing the questions that weighed heavy within their hearts and clouded their vision. A disciple named Mega spoke first, his voice uncertain as he shared his thoughts about the path he might have chosen. Master, Mega began, I was once a merchant, and I question if abandoning that path was a mistake for my family. Buddha listened, his calm expression unchanging, his words carrying the serenity that comes from wisdom rooted in profound understanding. Mega, Buddha said, the shadow of the path not taken cannot touch the light of your present journey forward. He continued, the mind creates illusions of alternate lives. But these illusions fade when we embrace the truth of our chosen path. Another disciple, Sarva, joined the conversation, his tone filled with regret for leaving behind his village and the community he once loved. Master, Sarva said, had I stayed, I might have brought hope to my village instead of seeking enlightenment away from them. Buddha replied, his voice soothing yet firm. Sarva, the essence of hope you bring now transcends the boundaries of your village entirely. He explained, had you remained, your actions might have touched a few, but your wisdom now touches countless lives across the world. The disciples pondered his words, as Buddha turned to address one whose face was etched with lingering doubt and hesitation. This disciple, named Kavi, whispered, Master, I fear the path I chose might rob me of the joy I could have found. Buddha nodded, his gaze filled with compassion, and said, Kavi, joy is never lost. It lies dormant, awaiting your awakening of mind. Paths not taken do not steal from your present. They exist only as reflections shaped by your own imagination. Buddha added. A silence settled over the disciples, as Buddha shared an episode from his own journey, a tale of his greatest doubts. Once, I stood before the great river, torn between continuing my search for truth or returning to the comforts of home. Buddha recounted. The call of my former life was strong, yet the suffering I witnessed held my feet firmly upon my chosen path. He explained, each step forward demanded I silence the whispers of doubt that questioned if I had forsaken my destiny entirely. A disciple named Brahma spoke up, asking, Master, does the thought of these whispers ever return, even as your wisdom grows ever deeper? Buddha replied, Brahma, the whispers may return, but they lose their strength when the heart is firm in its purpose and intention. They serve only as reminders of the choices that shape the journey, not as barriers to the truth discovered along the way. Mega interjected, saying, Master, if the whispers return, does that mean the mind doubts its ability to stand in wisdom? Buddha answered, No, Mega, it means the mind observes its past choices, offering an opportunity to understand its growth through reflection. The whispers are not enemies. They are signposts revealing the lessons embedded within the choices made in moments of uncertainty. The disciples began to reflect on Buddha's teachings, finding comfort in the possibility of seeing their doubts through a lens of clarity. Sarva asked, "Master, how can one let go of imagining the alternate paths when regret feels as persistent as the air itself?" Buddha said, "Sarva, letting go is not a denial of what could have been. It is embracing the fullness of what is." He added, "The mind seeks balance, not void. To let go, fill the space of regret with purpose aligned with your present path." Kavi asked, "Master, how can joy emerge in the heart that still feels the weight of regret from paths left untouched?" Buddha replied, "Joy emerges through gratitude, for even regret opens the door to wisdom, transforming the soul with profound understanding. Gratitude makes room for joy, and this joy becomes the fuel that propels your journey toward freedom and deeper truth," he explained. Buddha's words brought visible relief to the disciples, their hearts beginning to accept the impermanence of paths not taken in life. Brahma asked, "Master, is it ever possible to know if the path not taken would have brought greater fulfillment than the current?" Buddha replied, "Brahma, the illusion of fulfillment in alternate paths is a creation of the mind, not rooted in the reality of life." He added, "Fulfillment comes not from the path itself, but from the intention that drives the footsteps upon it toward truth." Buddha concluded his teachings that day, saying, "The mind wanders freely through imagined roads, yet only the road beneath your feet is real. Do not fear the paths not taken, for they are but shadows cast by choices that illuminate your journey forward." Megha said softly, "Master, I now see that my path holds more meaning than I imagined, shaped by the intentions I carry." Buddha nodded, his gaze encouraging. "Megha, trust that your choices, guided by sincerity, unfold into the beauty of the lessons revealed." Sarva added, "I will release my regret and seek purpose in the wisdom I share, bringing hope beyond my village walls." Buddha smiled gently, affirming, "Sarva, the hope you carry is boundless, transcending the limits of your origins to reach the lives awaiting your touch." Kavi said, "Master, I will search for gratitude, trusting that joy will fill the space my regret once occupied within." Buddha concluded, "Kavi, the search for gratitude begins with acceptance and grows into joy that shines brightly through even the heaviest doubts." Brahma said, "Master, I will honor the road beneath my feet, trusting its truth above the illusion of paths left untouched." Buddha's serene smile brought peace to the disciples. As their hearts opened to the teachings that illuminated their journey forward, the disciples bowed low, their minds lighter, their hearts uplifted, ready to embrace their paths with the clarity Buddha had shared. Another day, another question lingered in the minds of the disciples as they gathered beneath the shade of the Bodhi tree. Buddha sat silently, observing their eager faces, sensing the unspoken questions that swirled like clouds in their restless hearts. A disciple named Amara spoke first, her voice tinged with curiosity, as she asked about the nature of destiny itself. "Master," Amara said, "is destiny a force beyond our control, or do our actions shape the path we are destined to walk?" Buddha looked at Amara with gentle understanding, his serene expression reflecting the wisdom of countless lessons learned along his journey. "Amara," Buddha began, "destiny is neither a fixed force nor entirely within your hands. It unfolds through the harmony of actions and circumstances," he continued. "The universe provides the stage, but the dance of destiny is created by your intention, choices, and responses." Another disciple, Harsha, shared his doubts, wondering whether suffering and misfortune were predetermined or the results of past actions and karma. "Master," Harsha asked, "is the pain we experience in life written in the stars, or do we bring it upon ourselves?" Buddha replied, his voice steady, Harsha. Suffering arises not from destiny's decree but as the natural consequence of attachments, desires, and the choices we make. He added, the seeds of suffering are planted by ignorance, yet they can be uprooted by wisdom, compassion, and rightful actions. The disciples listened intently, their minds turning over the profound implications of Buddha's words and the power they held within. A disciple named Devadatta asked, Master, if our actions shape destiny, can we truly escape the consequences of choices made in ignorance? Buddha explained, Devadatta, the law of cause and effect is unyielding, yet wisdom offers the chance to redirect the course of your destiny, through understanding and sincere effort. Even the heaviest burdens of the past can be transformed into stepping stones toward enlightenment, he added. Buddha then shared an episode from his own journey, a moment when he pondered the interplay between destiny and free will. During my travels, I encountered a farmer who lamented the loss of his crops, blaming his misfortune on the stars above. Buddha recounted, I asked him, do the stars control your plow, or do your hands guide the seeds you plant each day? The farmer paused, and I continued, the stars may shine, but it is your choices that determine the harvest you reap. One of the disciples, named Veda, asked, Master, if choices shape destiny, how do we ensure our actions align with the greater good? Buddha replied, Veda, the key lies in intention. When actions arise from compassion and wisdom, they align naturally with the path of goodness. He continued, even when faced with uncertainty, choosing kindness and truth will guide you toward a destiny that uplifts both yourself and others. A disciple named Ramesh asked, Master, are there times when destiny seems unchangeable, no matter how much effort we put into our actions? Buddha answered, Ramesh, certain circumstances may appear beyond control, yet your response to them holds the power to transform their impact on your journey. Even when faced with adversity, the choices you make can illuminate a path forward, filled with resilience and newfound strength, he explained. Buddha's teachings resonated deeply with the disciples, as they began to see the interplay of destiny and action in a new light. Amara asked again, Master, how do we reconcile the idea of destiny with the randomness that life often seems to bring? Buddha replied, Amara, what seems random is merely the unfolding of countless causes and conditions, interconnected in ways the mind cannot fully perceive. The universe is vast, yet every moment offers the opportunity to choose actions that bring harmony to its intricate web. He added, Harsha reflected on Buddha's teachings and asked, Master, can we ever truly understand the full scope of destiny and its mysterious workings? Buddha said, Harsha, destiny is like the wind. You feel its presence, yet its origins and destination remain beyond the grasp of sight. Understanding comes not from unraveling its mystery but from walking your path with sincerity, courage, and a heart open to truth, he explained. A disciple named Tara asked, Master, how can we find peace when the weight of destiny feels overwhelming? Like a burden too heavy to bear? Buddha replied, Tara, peace arises from acceptance, recognizing that while you cannot control all things, your inner response remains entirely within your power. He continued, the burden of destiny lessens when you release attachments to outcomes and embrace the present moment with clarity and compassion. Buddha's words brought a sense of calm to the disciples, their hearts uplifted by the knowledge that destiny was not a prison. Devadatta asked, Master, if destiny is shaped by our actions, does it mean that every choice we make becomes a thread in its weaving? Buddha said, Yes, Devadatta, each choice is a thread, yet the tapestry of destiny is created not by threads alone but by their harmony. He added, the beauty of the tapestry lies in the alignment of your intentions with the truth of the universe's unfolding nature, Veda said, Master, I will strive to make my actions reflections of compassion, trusting that they will guide my destiny's course rightly. Buddha nodded, saying, Veda, with each act of kindness, you weave a thread of light into the tapestry, illuminating your path forward. Ramesh said, Master, I will no longer fear adversity but will see it as an opportunity to shape my destiny through resilience. Buddha affirmed, Ramesh, the strength you find within adversity becomes the foundation upon which your greatest growth and understanding are built. Tara said, Master, I will seek peace through acceptance, knowing that my inner harmony will ripple outward to influence the world around me. Buddha smiled, saying, Tara, your acceptance becomes a beacon, guiding others to find peace within the storms of their own journeys. The disciples bowed low, their hearts brimming with gratitude for the wisdom shared and the clarity brought to their understanding of destiny. Buddha concluded, Destiny is not written in the stars or in stone. It is written in the choices and intentions you cultivate daily. He added, Trust in the power of your actions to shape a destiny that reflects the truth, beauty, and love within your heart. Quote. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.